What if I told you that the secret to strong muscles, healthy aging, and lasting energy is not hiding in an expensive protein powder jar, but right in your kitchen? Muscle is more than just strength. It's your foundation for movement independence and a healthy metabolism. As we age, many people slowly lose muscle without even noticing. And this can lead to fatigue, weakness, falls, and even chronic disease. But here's the good news. You don't need artificial supplements to protect your muscles. Nature has already given us the perfect solution. When we talk about muscle loss, most people imagine it as something that happens much later in life, maybe in their 70s or 80s. But here's the surprising truth. The process starts much earlier than we think. From around the age of 30, the body slowly begins to lose muscle mass in a natural process called sarcopenia. You may not notice it right away. It doesn't happen overnight. It's subtle, gradual, and for many years silent. But as the decades go by, the effects add up. This slow erosion of muscle strength is one of the biggest hidden threats to our health and independence, and very few people talk about it. Why does this happen? There are several reasons. First, our bodies become less efficient at building muscle as we age. The signals that tell our muscles to grow are not as strong as they once were. Second, many of us lead increasingly sedentary lives. We sit more, we move less, and when the body doesn't use its muscles, it naturally begins to break them down. Third, nutrition plays a massive role. Many diets lack enough high-quality protein, and sometimes even when protein is present, the body doesn't use it as effectively as it once did. Add to these hormonal changes, chronic stress, or underlying inflammation, and muscle loss can accelerate faster than we realize. The challenge is that sarcopenia doesn't announce itself with flashing warning signs. In the beginning, you might just feel a little weaker when you carry groceries, or maybe you notice that climbing stairs makes you slightly more tired than before. These little moments are easy to dismiss. After all, everyone gets tired, right? But these small signals are your body whispering to you that something is changing. If left unchecked, those whispers grow louder. Over time, a person who ignores them can find themselves struggling with daily activities that once seemed effortless. And this is about much more than just strength. Muscles are not only for movement, they are also deeply connected to our metabolism, our immune system, and even our brain health. Think of your muscles as your body's largest reservoir of energy. They store glucose, they burn fat, and they keep your blood sugar balanced. When you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat and harder to maintain healthy energy levels. Muscle loss is also strongly linked with insulin resistance, which is a major step toward type 2 diabetes. That means sarcopenia doesn't just steal your strength. It can quietly set the stage for chronic illness. Another problem is that as muscle mass declines, the risk of falls and fractures skyrockets. This is particularly dangerous as people grow older because one bad fall can take away independence permanently. Think of someone who slips, breaks a hip, and suddenly needs months of recovery. Many never regain their full mobility. That entire chain of events often begins with unnoticed muscle loss years earlier. Sarcopenia also takes a toll emotionally. When your body can't do what it used to, it's easy to feel frustrated, discouraged, or even fearful about the future. It can erode confidence, making people less likely to engage in physical activity, which then worsens the problem. It becomes a vicious cycle. Less movement leads to more muscle loss, which leads to less ability to move, and so on. But here's something empowering. Sarcopenia may be common, but it's not inevitable. Yes, it is part of the natural aging process, but how fast it happens and how much it affects your life is very much within your control. The first step is simply awareness. Once you understand that muscle loss begins early and progresses silently, you can take proactive steps to protect yourself. By paying attention to your nutrition, by moving your body in ways that challenge your muscles, and by nourishing your health holistically, you can slow this process dramatically. Many people in their 60s and 70s who commit to these practices actually gain back strength and independence they thought was gone forever. So when we identify the problem clearly, the silent, early, and progressive loss of muscle, it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up, to remind you that your muscles are not just about looking strong. They are about living strong. They are your partner in every single activity, big or small, throughout your day. And the earlier you recognize the risk of sarcopenia, the earlier you can make choices that protect your body for the long run. Your future self will thank you. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that tasks you once did without a second thought now feel heavier, slower, or even intimidating. That is the hidden impact of muscle loss on daily life. It begins so quietly that most people dismiss it as simply getting older, but in reality, it is the gradual weakening of the body's most powerful system, the muscles that allow us to move, lift, balance, and live with independence. Every ordinary action we take relies on muscle strength, from rising out of a chair to opening a jar, from climbing stairs to carrying a child. Muscles are the unsung heroes that keep us mobile and capable. When they begin to weaken, life doesn't just feel harder, it actually becomes riskier, and over time, the consequences ripple into nearly every part of health. Think about something as basic as standing up from a low sofa. For a younger, stronger body, this takes no thought. But when muscle loss sets in, that same motion can feel like a challenge. People often start avoiding movements that are harder for them, which means they use their muscles even less, and the cycle of decline accelerates. This impacts more than convenience. It affects freedom, the ability to get up, to move, to walk outside or travel. These are the cornerstones of independence. Without strong muscles, many people find themselves relying on others for tasks they once did alone. That loss of independence doesn't just affect the body, it weighs heavily on the spirit. The long-term health consequences are equally concerning. Muscles are not just bundles of tissue for strength. They are highly active organs that support the entire body. Healthy muscle helps regulate blood sugar by storing and releasing glucose when needed. When muscle mass decreases, the body becomes less efficient at controlling blood sugar, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. This link between sarcopenia and metabolic disease is one of the most overlooked dangers of muscle loss. Weak muscles also reduce overall calorie burning, leading to weight gain, which further stresses the joints and cardiovascular system. It becomes a chain reaction: less muscle, slower metabolism, more fat, higher risk of chronic illness. Another way muscle loss impacts health is through bone protection. Strong muscles support strong bones, and when muscles weaken, bones are more vulnerable. This is why muscle loss is often tied to osteoporosis and fractures. For example, someone with weak leg muscles is more likely to stumble, and if their bone density is already low, that stumble can turn into a fracture. Hip fractures in particular are known to drastically change the course of life for older adults, often leading to long-term care needs and loss of independence. What may seem like just weaker muscles actually connects directly to survival and quality of life. It is not just the physical body that suffers. There is a profound psychological and emotional impact when daily life feels harder. People may start avoiding social outings because walking long distances or standing for extended periods feels exhausting. They may decline invitations to travel or to try new activities because they fear not being able to keep up. Over time, this leads to isolation and the loss of joy. The confidence that comes from being capable, strong, and independent is eroded, replaced by worry and self-doubt. This is why maintaining muscle strength is not only about physical health, but also about emotional well-being and social connection. Even simple pleasures are affected by muscle loss. Imagine wanting to garden but finding kneeling and standing painful. Imagine wanting to lift your grandchild but realizing your arms and back can no longer manage the weight. These moments carry deep emotional meaning, and when they are taken away, life feels smaller. The beauty of strong muscles is that they allow us to say yes to life, to activities, to people, to experiences without hesitation. Weak muscles create limits, both visible and invisible, that shrink the world around us. The long-term picture makes the urgency even clearer. People who allow muscle loss to progress without intervention often find themselves not only weaker, but also facing a higher risk of hospitalization. When someone with low muscle mass is admitted to a hospital, their recovery is slower and more complicated. The body simply does not have the reserves it needs to heal quickly. That means more complications, longer hospital stays, and a greater chance of losing independence permanently. So when we consider how muscle loss affects daily life and long-term health, it becomes clear that this is not a small issue, nor is it something to shrug off as just aging. It is one of the most critical factors that determines how well we live, how long we stay independent, and how much joy we can experience in our later years. The strength of your muscles is the strength of your life. Protecting them means protecting everything you value, your freedom, your vitality, your health, and your happiness. When most people think about protecting or rebuilding their muscles, the first thing that comes to mind is usually supplements, colorful tubs of protein powder, fancy shakes, or expensive products advertised as muscle fuel. The truth is, while these powders might look impressive on the shelf, they are not necessary for maintaining strong, healthy muscles. Nature already provides everything your body needs in simple, accessible, and affordable foods. One of the most overlooked yet powerful solutions lies in natural protein-rich foods that bring more benefits than any artificial supplement could ever provide. Beans and lentils, for example, are true nutritional powerhouses. They are rich in plant-based protein, which is the very building block of muscle. Unlike powders that often contain additives, sugars, or artificial flavors, beans and lentils are whole foods packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They provide steady, sustained energy instead of quick spikes and crashes. They also support gut health, something protein powders cannot do. A healthy gut means better nutrient absorption, which in turn helps your body use the protein you eat more effectively. Another wonderful aspect of beans and lentils is their balance of nutrients. Along with protein, they deliver complex carbohydrates, which give you energy to move and exercise, and minerals like magnesium, iron, and potassium, which are essential for muscle function and recovery. This combination makes them far more than just a protein source. They are complete nourishment for your body. People often underestimate the role of variety in muscle protection. Natural foods like quinoa, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, and red lentils all bring something unique to the table. Quinoa, for instance, is one of the rare plant-based foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. Chickpeas are especially rich in folate and iron, which support energy production and overall vitality. Black beans and kidney beans are high in antioxidants, protecting your muscles and cells from oxidative stress, which can accelerate aging. Together, these foods provide a spectrum of benefits that no single powder can match. Another benefit of natural foods is their affordability and accessibility. Protein powders can be expensive, and for many people, they are simply not sustainable in the long run. On the other hand, beans and lentils are some of the most affordable and widely available foods in the world. A bag of dried lentils costs just a fraction of what a tub of protein powder does, yet it contains weeks' worth of high-quality nutrition. This makes natural solutions realistic for everyone, not just those who can spend extra money on supplements. Beyond their nutritional value, beans and lentils also carry cultural and culinary richness. In nearly every traditional cuisine around the world, you'll find a version of beans or lentils being used as a staple. From Indian dal to Mexican black beans, from Middle Eastern chickpeas to Mediterranean lentil soups, these foods have nourished generations of strong, healthy people long before protein powders were even invented. These traditional diets are living proof that natural foods are more than enough to support strength and vitality. Replacing powders with natural foods also eliminates the risk of hidden ingredients. Many commercial supplements contain artificial sweeteners, preservatives, or even contaminants like heavy metals when not regulated properly. When you choose whole foods, you know exactly what you're eating. You are giving your body real nourishment rather than a processed product designed for profit. Of course, natural solutions do not mean you need to eat only beans and lentils. They should be part of a balanced diet that includes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Together, these foods provide the full spectrum of protein, vitamins, and minerals needed to support your muscles and overall health. Adding a handful of nuts for healthy fats, pairing lentils with rice for complete protein, or topping salads with chickpeas are all simple yet powerful ways to build meals that protect your muscles naturally. When you step back and see the bigger picture, the message becomes clear. Natural foods are more than just alternatives to protein powder. They are superior solutions. They nourish your entire body, not just your muscles. They protect your heart, balance your blood sugar, feed your gut, and give you the energy to live fully. Most importantly, they remind us that health doesn't come from a jar of processed powder. It comes from whole, simple foods that have stood the test of time. By trusting nature's wisdom, you not only save money, but also give your body what it truly understands and thrives on. Putting natural solutions into practice doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. The beauty of using whole foods to protect your muscles is that they fit easily into your everyday meals if you know a few simple strategies. You don't need to become a gourmet chef or spend hours in the kitchen to benefit. What matters most is building small, consistent habits that add up over time. With just a few adjustments, you can fuel your muscles naturally and feel stronger with every meal. One of the easiest ways to start is by adding beans or lentils to meals you already enjoy. For example, if you make a salad, toss in half a cup of chickpeas or black beans. This not only boosts the protein content, but also makes the salad more satisfying and filling. If you love soups or stews, sprinkle in lentils or kidney beans. They cook quickly, absorb flavors beautifully, and add a hearty texture. Even a simple pasta dish becomes more nutritious if you mix in white beans or serve it with a side of lentil soup. By doing this, you're upgrading the meals you already eat rather than creating an entirely new menu. Another practical tip is to cook a large batch of beans or lentils at the beginning of the week. Store them in the fridge or freezer, and you'll always have a quick protein source ready. This is especially helpful on busy days when you don't feel like cooking from scratch. A scoop of pre-cooked beans can be added to rice bowls, wraps, or even scrambled eggs for an instant nutrition boost. Preparation in advance takes the pressure off daily decisions and makes it easy to stay consistent. If you're someone who enjoys snacking, beans and lentils can also be turned into delicious, healthy snacks. Roasted chickpeas seasoned with spices like paprika or cumin make a crunchy alternative to chips. Hummus, which is made from blended chickpeas, can be paired with carrot sticks, cucumber slices, or whole grain crackers for a protein-rich snack that supports muscle health. These options are satisfying, flavorful, and far healthier than processed snack foods. You can also explore international dishes that naturally highlight beans and lentils. Indian dal is a flavorful way to enjoy lentils, often paired with rice or flatbread. Mexican cuisine offers countless dishes like black bean tacos or refried beans. Mediterranean meals often include hummus, falafel, or lentil salads. Exploring these recipes adds variety to your meals and keeps eating exciting, which makes it easier to stick with healthy habits long term. Another practical approach is to replace some meat-based meals with plant-based alternatives once or twice a week. For example, try swapping beef chili with a hearty 3-bean chili. Instead of chicken soup, experiment with lentil and vegetable soup. This doesn't mean giving up meat altogether if you enjoy it. It simply means diversifying your protein sources so that your muscles benefit from the unique nutrients plants provide. Over time, these small swaps not only support muscle health, but also reduce inflammation, improve digestion, and protect your heart. Pairing foods strategically also makes a difference. While beans and lentils are excellent protein sources, combining them with grains like rice, quinoa, or whole wheat bread creates a complete protein profile, supplying all the essential amino acids your body needs. This is why traditional cuisines often naturally combine these foods. Think rice and beans, lentil soup with bread, or hummus with pita. These pairings are time-tested examples of balanced nutrition. For people who feel hesitant about the taste or texture of beans, starting small can help. Blend lentils into soups until they disappear, or mash beans into dips and spreads that can be spread on sandwiches. Over time, your palate adjusts, and you may even start to crave these foods once you realize how much better you feel after eating them. The key is not to force drastic changes, but to make gradual shifts that fit your preferences and lifestyle. The final tip is to make your meals enjoyable. Healthy eating should never feel like punishment. Season your beans with herbs and spices you love. Use garlic, onion, cumin, turmeric, or fresh parsley to bring out flavor. Add colorful vegetables alongside them to make your plate visually appealing. When food looks and tastes good, it becomes something you look forward to instead of a chore. These practical steps adding beans to meals you already love, preparing in batches, experimenting with global cuisines, pairing foods wisely, and making meals flavorful can transform your diet without making it complicated. Over time, these small actions turn into habits, and habits turn into a lifestyle that supports your muscles every single day. By embracing natural foods in practical ways, you set yourself up not only for stronger muscles, but also for more energy, better digestion, and a healthier, more vibrant life. Consistency is the bridge between good intentions and real, lasting results. It's easy to get excited about a new habit, whether that's eating more beans and lentils, exercising, or making time for rest. But the real challenge lies in showing up day after day. When it comes to protecting your muscles, there's no quick fix or magic pill. Strength is built slowly through repeated small choices that compound over time. Just like a garden flourishes only if watered regularly, your body thrives only when you consistently feed and move it in ways that support long-term health. One of the most important truths to understand is that muscles respond best to steady care. A single protein-rich meal won't transform your body, just as one workout won't suddenly make you strong. But when you consistently supply your muscles with good nutrition and regular activity, they adapt, grow, and protect you for the future. Consistency signals to your body that you value strength and resilience, and over time, your body responds with energy, stamina, and stability. Building consistency starts with making habits realistic. Many people set goals that are too ambitious only to become frustrated when they can't keep up. Instead of saying, "I'll eat beans and lentils at every meal," a more sustainable commitment might be, "I'll add beans to my lunch 3 times a week." Instead of deciding to do an hour-long workout every day, you could begin with 10 minutes of bodyweight exercises or a short walk. These smaller commitments are easier to maintain, and once they become routine, you can expand them. Consistency is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something regularly, even if it's small. Another key aspect of consistency is preparation. When healthy food is available and easy to access, you're far more likely to stick with it. Cooking a batch of lentils or beans at the start of the week, as mentioned earlier, creates a foundation for consistent eating. The same goes for planning your meals or carrying healthy snacks. When you know you'll be busy, removing obstacles makes it easier to follow through. And every time you follow through, you strengthen the habit. Consistency also benefits from routines. For example, you might decide that every Sunday evening you prepare meals for the week. Or perhaps you dedicate mornings to light exercise, such as yoga or resistance training, before starting your day. Anchoring habits to specific times or existing routines makes them more automatic. When something becomes part of your rhythm, it no longer feels like a chore. It feels natural, even necessary. It's also important to view consistency with flexibility. Life is unpredictable. There will be days when you skip a workout or grab a less than healthy meal. That's not failure. That's being human. What matters is what you do afterward. Consistency means getting back on track without guilt, understanding that long-term progress is built on patterns, not perfection. One skip day won't erase your effort, but quitting altogether will. So rather than striving for flawless execution, aim for steady persistence. Tracking progress can make consistency more rewarding. This doesn't have to mean complicated charts or apps. It can be as simple as writing down when you added beans to your meals or noting how many days you walked that week. Over time, you'll see your progress in the form of stronger habits, improved energy, or even more confidence in your daily activities. Celebrating small wins reinforces the behavior and motivates you to keep going. Another factor that supports consistency is connection. When you share your goals with friends, family, or even an online community, you create accountability, cooking meals together, joining a walking group, or simply discussing your progress makes the journey more enjoyable. Humans thrive in community, and healthy habits become easier to sustain when you don't feel alone in the process. Finally, it helps to tie your consistent actions to a bigger purpose. Eating beans or going for a walk may feel ordinary, but when you remind yourself that each choice strengthens your muscles, protects your independence, and sets you up for a healthier future, the meaning becomes clear. Consistency is no longer about discipline alone. It's about love for yourself and respect for the life you want to live. Each small action becomes an investment in your future self, who will thank you for the strength, freedom, and vitality you preserved. When you think about it this way, consistency is not restrictive. It's empowering. It's about choosing to show up for yourself every day, even in small ways, and trusting that those choices add up to something far greater over weeks, months, and years. Consistency transforms your body, your health, and your outlook on life. It's the quiet, patient force that builds lasting strength, not just in your muscles, but in your character and confidence too. When you think about all the reasons to protect your muscles, strength, energy, independence, health, it's easy to see the importance. But information alone is not enough to inspire lasting change. What really matters is the mindset you carry and the belief that your actions today have the power to shape your future. The most powerful takeaway is this: you have far more control over your health than you may realize, and the choices you make daily can transform not only your body, but your confidence and quality of life. That realization can turn a simple bowl of lentil soup or a short walk into an act of empowerment. Many people believe muscle loss is inevitable, that it's just part of aging. And while it's true that our bodies change with time, that does not mean decline is your only option. Around the world, there are countless examples of people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who remain vibrant, active, and strong. The difference is not luck or genetics alone. It's consistency in the small, healthy choices they've made along the way. Each time you choose real food over processed powders, each time you move your body instead of sitting for hours, you are casting a vote for the future version of yourself, who is still capable, still independent, and still enjoying life fully. The motivational truth is that strength is not built in giant leaps. It is built in the little things you do every day. Every time you say yes to beans or lentils on your plate, every time you stand up and stretch, every time you take a walk after dinner, you are telling your body, I am taking care of you. That message accumulates. At first, you may not notice the difference, but slowly your energy improves. Your balance feels steadier, your sleep is deeper, and your confidence grows. Then, one day, you find yourself climbing stairs without hesitation or playing with your children or grandchildren without fatigue. Those are the real rewards of choosing natural, consistent habits. What makes this journey even more meaningful is the way it impacts not only you but the people around you. When your children see you prioritizing your health, they learn to do the same. When your friends notice your energy and vitality, they may feel inspired to take better care of themselves too. Your actions ripple outward, creating a circle of wellness that extends far beyond your own life. Being strong for yourself also allows you to be strong for others, whether that means being active in your community, helping your family, or simply being present with the people you love. Of course, the journey will not always be easy. There will be days when you feel tired, when reaching for convenience food seems tempting, or when you doubt whether small actions really matter. That is when this takeaway becomes crucial. Remind yourself why you started. You're not just eating better or exercising more. You're protecting your freedom, your joy, and your ability to live life on your own terms. That bigger why gives your actions meaning and keeps you moving forward, even on the harder days. It's also helpful to celebrate progress along the way. Too often, we wait for big results before we allow ourselves to feel proud. But the truth is, every step forward counts. Did you add beans to your salad instead of skipping them? Celebrate it. Did you go for a walk even though you only had 10 minutes? That matters. Did you cook lentils for the first time and share the meal with your family? That's a victory. Motivation grows when you recognize and honor these moments, no matter how small they seem. The ultimate takeaway is this: building muscle and protecting your health is not about perfection, and it's not about expensive shortcuts. It's about commitment, patience, and trust in the process. You already have the tools you need: whole foods, movement, and the power of consistent choices. Your body is designed to respond, to adapt, and to grow stronger when you give it what it needs. That means it's never too late to start. Whether you are 30, 50, or 70, your muscles can be nourished, your strength can be rebuilt, and your future can be brighter. So let this be your motivation. Every healthy choice is a gift to yourself. It's proof that you care about your life, your independence, and your joy. And when you look back, years from now, you won't regret the time you spent investing in yourself. You'll be grateful that you chose the path of strength, health, and vitality. That gratitude will be your reward, and your muscles will carry you forward with resilience and grace. So, the next time you think you need a powder to stay strong, remember this: true strength doesn't come from a jar. It comes from the choices you make every day. Fill your plate with nature's gifts, move your body with love, and your muscles will carry you through life with power and grace.